So another part of our puppy's critical socialisation is positive exposure and experience with different surfaces. So noisy surfaces, wobbly surfaces, crinkly surfaces, unstable surfaces, not just puppy to puppy socialisation or puppy to human socialisation. So there's lots of different ways that we can do this without even leaving our home. So looking for things like, maybe pot plant sources, lids of plastic containers, if you've got any exercise equipment around the house, tarps, cardboard boxes, things like that, for our puppies to walk over and step on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get our puppies food and we're going to pop it in front of their nose and we're just going to lure them through and over all these different obstacles, marking and rewarding each time they start putting their feet on different things. Especially if it's a wobbly surface, as soon as my puppy puts their foot on that wobbly surface and it starts to move, I'm going to mark yes and give them a reward. Now the really confident puppy is probably just going to lure through all of this stuff with no problems really, really easily. The more timid puppy, or the puppy that's more lacking in confidence, is probably going to struggle a little bit. They might be quite hesitant to put their feet on different things. And if that's the case, there's even more reason why you need to be doing these activities now before they get too old. We're not going to expect them to walk all over and touch everything straight away. It literally might be that they put their foot on the tarp and we mark and reward that. And they put their foot back on and we mark and reward that. And then eventually, after some repetitions of that, the puppy starts to go, oh, actually, that's not so bad after all. And they put 2 feet and we mark and reward that. And then the puppy builds up confidence that now they're putting all 4 feet on the object, walking over the tarp and things like that. So we'll grab a puppy and we'll have a look at how we do that. Hey, Ruby. So we're just going to put the food on the nose. Yes. Good girl. Slurring her around. Yes. When she steps in different things. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Yes. Good job. Yes. Good. Now this may look quite simple, but you'll be surprised at how many puppies will be terrified of the thought of putting their foot on a different object. Ruby's obviously nice and confident. Yes, which is fantastic. Let's try the wobble cushions. Yes. Very good. Yes. Well done. We might see if we can lure her across and yes. If your puppy's really brave and clever, you could always work on something like having them balance 2 front feet on one and 2 back feet on the other. Yes. Good girl. Yes. Oh, we got 3 feet. Good girl. Well done. Hey, over this one. Good. Yes. Yes. Good job. Good. Nice. We can make some crinkly ourselves since she's being pretty brave. Yes. Obviously, if my puppy was a bit scared of the tarp, I wouldn't make that extra noise with my feet, but she's nice and confident, so I can start upping the challenge there a little bit. That's really good. So you can see Ruby's a nice, brave, confident puppy, which is great. Even if your puppy does really well at these activities, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It's really important. The more sort of these activities that you do just keeps building that general resilience in your puppy and helping to build that resilient adult dog. We'll have a look at a few more obstacles around the home. Okay, so we've got the skateboard out if you've got one of those lying around. So just so that it doesn't scoot off in case good girl. In case my puppy does sort of step on it and it scoots out and actually gives them a fright, I'm just actually going to put my foot in front of the skateboard, yes, so that if it does start to move, I can just assess how confident my puppy is with that and my foot will stop it if they are a little bit scared. If my puppy is looking really brave and confident with the movement of the board, then I can start to let that go. So we'll just lure her on to start with 2 front feet. Yes. Good. Yes. Good. Well done. Again. Yes. 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 Good girl. Look at you. So clever. How about this way? So here we've actually got, yes, a moving surface. Yes. Starting to be a little bit unsure with the extra movement. So I'll just put my foot back there again for her. Just, yes. Oh, you're losing. Yes, that's better. Yes. 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 There we go. So I'll slow that right down. So she started off a lot more confident and then she started thinking about it and going, oh, now I'm not so sure. And that's okay. Yes. You can see how we can deal with that just by, yes, slowing it right down and just rebuilding that confidence. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Ready? Yes. There we go. Good job. Yes. There, and you can see that confidence being built back up again there. Good girl. Yes. Yes.
No, you're taking the easy way. Yes, good boy.
So going through things is another activity to do with our puppy. So things like a hoop or anything else that you might have lying around. It could be luring them underneath your chair or underneath your coffee table. Where'd you go? Hey, gorgeous. So I'm just going to hold the hoop up and we'll, yes, yes. Good. Now it sounds and looks quite easy, but I can't tell you the number of dogs that have been terrified of actually, yes, walking through a hoop. So that's really, really good. Actually, and then the other thing that you can do, now being a young puppy, we don't want them leaping and jumping, but if they're fine with going through it on the ground, we can certainly lift it up a little bit, depending on the size of your puppy. No, not that hand, this one. So they actually have to start stepping over it. So it's okay for them to step over it. We just don't want a young puppy having to jump over it. Yes. Good girl. Okay, and then we've got just our workhorse here. Now, if you've got something like this lying around, you could certainly hang some streamers or some empty plastic bottles and so on. We've got a bit of wind, so it's adding a little bit of extra movement as well. Ruby, hey, beautiful. What's this? Hey. There we go. Let's see if she'll go through. Ruby? Yes. Nice. And we might move it over here so we can see it a bit better. Good girl. Good job. Yes. Well done. And there's actually lots of different things that you could hang off that to make the activity easier or more tricky. For the puppy that's quite scared of going under that, you might literally just start luring them through without anything hanging. That might be enough for some puppies. And then when they're confident with going through that without anything hanging, you might just hang 2 or 3 things. So there's big gaps in between it, but they get used to having something near them flapping around. And then if they're really confident like this, we can fully sort of cover it. Good girl. I might just start throwing the food over the other side and we'll just see. Good girl, if she'll go through it herself. Hey, without being lured. There we go. Good girl.
Evie, come. Come.
When you're out and about with your puppy, another really great activity to do is go to children's playgrounds, not when they're full of children, but when they're emptier. There's lots of different surfaces, bridges, wobbly, spinny objects that you can lure your puppy on. So they're really great for confidence building activities as well. So yeah, remember to get out and get into those playgrounds. Also, a lot of them have different surfaces, so there might be sand, there might be the rubber matting, there might be mulch and things like that. Also garden edging in your park. So if there's raised gardens, there might be sort of garden edging, you know, so wide. So popping your puppy up on there and luring them to walk along those narrow raised surfaces, that's another really good activity as well.
Alright, ready? Slides are a bit fun. Ready? Echo!
He's going to go from that angle. So you notice we're not forcing him, we're just encouraging him. We're letting him build confidence, going as far as he feels comfortable to do. So you can see now he's actually been on the slippery metal surface from the other end. He was a little bit more confident when he went up that time. So even just building his confidence to start with by standing up the top there. So he's a lot more confident than he was the first time he went up the top there. If he doesn't go down the slide today, that's okay, it doesn't matter. So that slippery slide's quite a different surface. It's slippery, it probably feels really cold, shiny. Woo! Well done.
Good job, buddy.
So you can see how we built his confidence to get him down the slide. He chose to go down, we didn't force him. And in doing so, he's just had another experience of overcoming something in his life that he was scared of. So being scared of things doesn't become a bad thing, because we learn that just because we're scared of something, we can work through it and get braver. And it just builds resilience and confidence. It's a bit slippery. Takes a bit of...
Daddy, put it. I can't do it. Boy.
Retaining walls, garden edges, they make a great activity. So here we've got a wobbly surface. You can start with it steady, but as your pup builds confidence, you can start to wobble it and make it a little bit more challenging. Relaxed enough that he's happy to lie down, even with all the movement.